If you want to become a very skilled entrepreneur really fast, the fastest way to do it is paying for specialized knowledge of somebody who has already been in the industry doing it for 4 years, 5 years, 10 years ahead of you. And there's a lot of different skill sets and traits you need as an entrepreneur. And I know a lot of people go out there and just try to do everything by themselves. They're really missing out on great opportunity by paying for specialized knowledge from people that are already ahead of them that could give them really big foundations in that specialized area, and it will fast track their success, and it will teach them a lot more so that they don't mess up. And I think a lot of people look over this and think they have to just start from scratch. And I've thought that many times before too, where I just want to do everything myself. I want to figure it out on my own. And I've learned this is the dumbest way to do it, and it makes you really unintelligent by trying to just do everything by yourself and not asking for help. But the best way to ask for help isn't just asking anybody out there to give you help and just looking for an extra set of hands. It's looking for somebody in a specialized industry that has been in there doing it for 5+ years, and they've been doing it well for 5+ years. Obviously, you don't want to learn from somebody that hasn't been doing anything well, even if they've been spending the time of 5+ years in it. If they haven't brought any results that you would want to see, that you would want to create for yourself, it's not really worth paying for. And people don't understand is it's really worth it, and it's really valuable to pay for this specialized knowledge, and it really fast tracks your success because you can have somebody train you their 5 years experience within one day. And maybe it's not fully in that one day, but you can get probably 60 to 80% of their knowledge base just in that one day if you fully commit yourself and fully focus and take notes and write down the process of what they're thinking and how they look through different scenarios so that you can now become where they are at. You can fast track your success by 5, 10 years just in that instant. And I think people aren't willing to pay for this as much as others, and that's why some people are faster at getting things done than other people, is because you have to understand it's a big investment, and this investment you have to play in your head over a set of years. Let's just say somebody has a 10 years worth of experience in a specialized industry. Let's call it, I just did one recently. Let's give you guys an example. So I just went through and paid for somebody in Google Ads that has been doing it, that has an agency, that has success, and especially they have success in my field in certain areas that I'm located in. And so they have all the success, they have the years of experience, and beforehand, I was trying to do this, I was not enjoying it at all. I couldn't understand how to use the platform, I couldn't understand how to create a Google ad, I couldn't understand just the simple basics, and it would really frustrate me and it made me not want to look at the platform at all and spend time on it. So what I did instead is I found somebody that already has a few years, few handful of years or maybe 5 years experience ahead of me that was already doing it, already successful, and I paid $1,000 for it. And what comes with that $1,000 is a lot more than just losing a lot of money. And $1,000 really isn't a lot of money, especially when you're paying for a specialized skill. If I divided that up into 5 years, I'm really only paying $200 per year of their learnings, and I get that today. And that's something you got to understand too, is it's not only that you would have to go and spend 5 years on your own to get where they are. You can now pay $200 a year, get that today, and then use that specialized knowledge for your next 5 years and make it all back and then some, and then focus on expanding that skill or using that skill combined with another skill to expand them together. And I think this really actually helped me a lot in my instance, because now I go back into that platform, I can look at the process that I've seen the specialized knowledge person lay out for me. I can input that right into my own business. I can put it into my own ads. I can figure out how to set them up. I'm not really confused. I'm much more comfortable with using the system. I'm actually a lot happier looking into it. Beforehand, I was super frustrated. I just never really wanted to look at it. I just couldn't understand anything. But now that I have a good understanding of a foundational understanding of what to do, I can now build off of that. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to probably come to certain benchmarks and certain walls that I'm going to have to break through. And I wouldn't have been able to get there without getting first the foundation set, and then now I can go back to that person if I need any help. And what's great about this is, like I said, you can pay, 10 years of experience, you have to divide it up what you're paying for. And then you can get that all today, but then you can get that return for that many years without having to go spend as much time as they did or go through the failures they did. And people think this is a waste of money a lot of times, when I think it's them wasting a lot of their own time and a lot more money in the long run, because they could have made it all back and then 100x'd it by the time they would have spent the time figuring it out all by themselves without trying to mess it up and lose a ton of money in the beginning. And when I thought about this more, I realized that, especially as an entrepreneur, you can do this with every skill set, but the best way to do it is only finding somebody in that specialized skill set. Don't find anybody that's very generalized. You want somebody that's a master in their craft, and you want to just take bits and pieces from it so that you can use it for your own skills. Because especially in the beginning, you can't just go hire the master every time. You don't have the entire funds to pay for that. And sometimes you do want those skills yourself so that you can understand what you're working with. You can understand how to make adjustments. And then you can understand how you can find the master to hire in the future, because you do have a surface level understanding of what you're working with and how you can make it better. And if you ever wanted to look over a 10-year horizon of asking yourself, hey, I want all these skills and I want to be really good at it. Now, what's the fastest way to the next level? How can I get that next level? And most of the time, it's always going to be paying for it. It's going to be paying somebody that's ahead of you, that has already learned it, getting around them, and never being afraid to dish out some money. And $1,000 might sound like a lot if you never even started, or maybe it doesn't seem like it has an immediate return, but the returns are in your own skills, and the skills create more money. And if I were to look at this for myself and my business, if I spent $1,000 just on getting trained for Google Ads, something I did understand, and Google Ads was the only way I was going to attract 100 new customers to my business. But if I didn't learn it, I couldn't do it. And otherwise, if I tried it myself, maybe I only got like 10 customers and I spent thousands of dollars on ads because I didn't know how to set them up and I didn't know where to target them correctly. Now I just wasted thousands of dollars anyways, where I could have spent $1,000 getting it right and then getting 90 more customers, which is worth, to me, a lot more. A customer for an entire year, just 1 year, is worth $2,000. So imagine having 90 of those. Now that's worth $180,000 because I wasn't willing to spend $1,000. Now that's just stupidity. And that's why somebody who says they want to do something all themselves, they never want any help, they just want the pride of just doing it by themselves, never asking for help, is just stupid. And honestly, if you ever say you want to do something by yourself, but you do want to be that person that grows faster and you want to be that person that grows really big, you're almost lying to yourself, and you're holding yourself back by not asking for help, by not reaching out to somebody else in that specialized skill set. And so I've looked at this a lot differently. I've paid for other courses, I've paid for other communities, I've paid for other people's skills and knowledge and the community aspect of these things, so I can utilize them to make more money and fast track my success. But I've looked at it at a deeper level, where now you can absolutely just learn something within a day that somebody took 5 years doing, if you just really spent the time focused on it and went out and took action upon it. You didn't just take that training and throw it in the back of the closet and just never look at it again. you immediately took action on it, learned it again, tried it yourself, and then you are going to have some failures. But then when you have those failures, you're able to tweak things better. You aren't having to take that long process in the beginning to just get that foundation. You're now able to go back to that person and learn a little bit more. Never be afraid to pay somebody. Never be afraid, because in the end, it's not as much as you think. If you think spending, let's just even say $10,000 on somebody who spent 10 years doing something, you only spent $1,000 of their year. That's a lot of time. Imagine somebody telling you they only made $1,000 in a year. That's like, how did you live, right? That's what you're asking yourself. But if you ask yourself, hey, if I paid $1,000 a year so that I could learn a skill that made me even $10,000 the first year, but then it made me $50,000 the next year, $100,000, and then it made me $1 million the next year. You've already paid for it over and over again, and you still made your returns back before that 10-year basis. And it is true. It is actually going to happen, especially if you are going to find the right skill set and you're going to apply the right skill set. And so making sure that you can go find somebody that has already successfully been where you need to be, and is very specialized, isn't all over the place, and you can extract all their time and knowledge out of them by giving them a fair amount of money so that they can feel like it was a good trade-off, and that will actually just make you so much more money. It's crazy to me that people don't do this more, and people would turn away from it, because I've talked to a lot of different people where they're like, why would you ever do that? They're like a big hater on it, and they say they want to just do everything themselves, and I think it's a big problem. And I don't want anybody else getting into that trap, because especially if they want to achieve anything a lot more, or if they want to be better in a certain skill set, you can just fast track your life by just paying for it and just understanding it's going to cost you up front, but it really doesn't cost you long term. So always look at everything in the long term mindset, and it makes everything so much easier, and you'll actually hit your goals in the end. So thank you guys. I just wanted to share this little bit of information that just came across my mind, because I'm actually doing it myself, and want to share that journey with you guys. If you guys want more videos like this, make sure to subscribe, and I'll keep on posting. Message me in the comments with any questions, and I'll try to answer them when I can.